Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is Saturday, May 8th, 2021, and this is the Flight Sim News. So sorry about the 2-week break, guys. I just haven't been feeling it. The microphone I had was plaguing me. It was just being very difficult to figure out the audio issues. Over the past probably 6 months, I've had some weird audio issues, and it's just really bummed me out. I tried a couple different microphones before, didn't have much luck. I really just picked up another cheaper USB headset to try something different, and so far it seems to be doing okay. So you guys go ahead and let me know what you think, and we'll move on from there. So first up is Eagle Dynamics. Their latest update for the weekend news includes a lot of stuff on the Marianas Islands map that they're working on. So it looks like Andersen Air Force Base. There's a pretty big blurb on that right here with a picture of the F-16. And then if you scroll down, they go to talk about Northwest Field. Well, Northwest Field was what was Andersen Air Force Base, I believe, from what they were saying here, before it became Andersen Air Force Base. And they're talking about the Flying Tigers, P-47 Thunderbolts, etc., etc. And in these links, you'll find screenshots detailing them all a little better. And then they go on to talk about U.S. Naval Base Guam. And then after that, we go into the Ordnance Annex. The naval magazine for the U.S. Naval Base is situated in the south section of the island. Blah, blah, blah. More work in progress on the Marianas map, basically. And then they talk about we're continuing work on the ATC for the new Mariana Islands airfields that will take advantage of the new ATC system currently in development. Internal testing of this map is going well, and we're working further to improve the ground textures and address road network anomalies. Work on improving the ports and shorelines also continues. Our goal is to create the best looking DCS map yet by using our latest terrain development toolkits. And I must admit, all the images I've seen so far goes to show that it really does look very impressive. And they did come out with an open beta update this week as well. So they've had a lot to talk about on Friday. There was a 2.7, I guess, hotfix kind of open beta. And it fixes a lot of the little annoyances that was introduced in 2.7. We'll talk about that here in a minute when we go over the list that it includes. Now, one of the bigger pieces of news that I didn't report on last week because I didn't come out with a video last week was Eagle Dynamics announced that they're moving ahead again with the Black Shark 3. They had said before that they're not doing much with it because of some kind of issues with the Russian government, but now it looks like they're back on track, and they showed an issue of it, and they threw a blurb up here talking about it. It says, we're progressing well with the development of the DCS Black Shark 3, which will give the well-known Ka-50 attack helicopter a brand new external 3D model, enhanced cockpit, and new features that expand gameplay. And then they go on to talk about these include helicopter missile warning system implementation, air-to-air IGLA missile implementation. The sensors of the helicopter missile warning system will be integrated with its onboard defense system with the ability to display detected missile threats on the Aerges. And then the IGLA missiles are similar to those used in manpads and can hit subsonic aircraft at ranges up to 6 kilometers. It sounds like there's going to be an upgrade path as well for existing Black Shark 2 owners. It says existing owners of Black Shark 2 are free to continue flying their legacy Ka-50 or upgrade to the new Black Shark 3 for a very reasonable price. Newcomers will be able to buy the full retail version as usual. I have a feeling this is going to be a clusterfuck for me because last time I had the A10 version, which Matt Wagner gave me over a decade ago as a press copy, which could not be upgraded for $10 to the new A10. And my Black Shark is equally as old, if not older, because I think the Black Shark was first, and I have a feeling I will not be able to utilize that upgrade path. Or maybe somebody from Eagle Dynamics will actually decide to be nice this time and help a brother out, especially one who covers their stuff as much as I do. But we shall see, won't we? And then one of the cool things they talked about last week was the Petrovich AI. And it says, Petrovich's AI overall philosophy is based on the functionality first principle. The flight commands interface for the pilot operator to pilot commander will be available via a virtual ASI offering specific commands and sub-modes. This interface is controllable simply by using a four-way hat or 4 buttons for keypad ops, in addition to the use of the modern HOTAS practices of long and short presses. So the Hind is going to have an AI other guy in the cockpit. I guess that would be based on where you decide to sit and control it. So think of it as a jester for the Hind. That is pretty freaking exciting. So the big surprise of the week, and I actually literally stopped editing this week's Flight Sim News to sneak this in here because I just saw it this morning and didn't see it yesterday, was the guys from Aerges, A-E-R-G-E-S, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, are the guys responsible for doing the Mirage F1 CE for DCS World, posted a preview of their Mirage F1. I turned off the audio on this just in case they're using copyrighted music, and it kind of sounded like they were. So you guys can run back through and check it out for yourself with the music on. But for right now, I'll just show you what it looks like. And it is very impressive. I really do love all these Cold War era fighters, and there's just something really sleek and really sexy about this thing. I think the only thing that'll be weird is just like the Mirage 2000 now, you've got a lot of this stuff in the cockpit that's like, in French. So it does take some getting used to figuring out where everything is, what that button is, what that means in French, etc., etc. I'm sure they will have the ability to probably pick an English cockpit like they've done with the Russian fighters in DCS, but still. Looks very, very cool. And I think it's going to be fun. I don't know what the time frame is on this, and I haven't heard much about this except I want to say maybe 6 months ago it was announced that there was going to be an F1. But beyond that, I haven't really heard anything, so it was a pleasant surprise to see this video right here surface just yesterday, the 7th, I believe. And already it has about 6,000 views. So I will throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself with the audio and all turned on. While we were on the topic of the DCS stuff from Eagle Dynamics Direct, here's a couple of those images they posted this week. That F-16 at Anderson looks pretty freaking cool. P-47 Thunderbolt, always a joy to jump in. And wow, does that Mariana map look freaking awesome. More P-47 Thunderbolt love. The Mariana Islands. More Mariana Islands. The water looks really good all of a sudden. Especially right there. P-47 Thunderbolt. And the Hind from last week. This is the one, other than the Apache and other than the Kiowa, that I'm really, really looking forward to. It's going to be a good year for helicopter pilots, that's for sure. I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. All right, next up, Sergio over at the Helisimmer is reporting that the S.O.G Prairie Fire DLC for Arma 3 has been released. And this is that pretty cool looking DLC that was coming out that allows you to fly, the CH-34, UH-1D, UH-1C, and AH-1G gunships, in addition to an OH-6A for scouting. I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. Another pleasant surprise is that Chuck over at Mudspike, the guy who creates all of the Chuck's guides, Chuck Owl, has updated his guide for the DCSFA18C Hornet. I'll throw a link to this in the video description so you can check it out for yourself. Alright, SkateZilla this week had released an update to his little SkateZilla utility. Now, I used to use this all the time, and I found it super helpful to allow me to switch between the open beta version and the stable version. I would also use it to actually, from outside of DCS, switch between VR and non-VR modes without having to load up DCS, wait forever for it to load, go in there and just uncheck that little checkbox for VR so I could go back to using my 2D display when I wanted to. So it's a fantastic utility. The only problem I've had with it in the past is like it just at some point just quit working for me, and I think it probably had something to do with the open beta updates, and then the lack of this guy keeping his utility updated as much as they update the open beta. But it is a fantastic utility. There's a little list here of his change logs, and again, I can't recommend it enough. When it does work, it works fantastic. It's a very cool utility, and it's basically like a really cool front end for DCS World. I will definitely throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you really should go check this one out for yourself. Now, here's a link I found that I was a little confused by because of how this whole thing is put together. But this is supposed to be the Heatblur public roadmap, and I don't understand all this other crap that's on here, unless this is just I've never used Trello before, so it looks like there's just a bunch of little images, and then you click on them for information. So there's a GIF basically detailing the future, Reach for the Skies, DCS World, and that's an A6. And there's another A6. So they're going to do the A6E Intruder. They also have another little image here of just the Heatblur logo, and it goes to talk about a next generation jet. It says, we're working on our next complex high-fidelity DCS module release, but there's no more information about it. That's it. Oh, and there's a next-gen Meteor album, too. We will be once again working with Meteor to bring period-fitting, inspired, and awesome soundtracks for our next-generation modules. That's fantastic news because the Meteor guy is super cool. I worked with him in the past to give you guys copies of the latest Meteor album when it had come out, and the Heatblur was cool enough to allow me to give away some F14 modules too, which was pretty cool. So I don't understand the whole Trello thing. I'll throw a link to this in the video description, and you can check it out for yourself here, but yeah, it's an interesting little thing that I really don't understand. I'm clicking, there's an image, there's a description, and that's it. I don't understand the whole concept of Trello, but this is what they decided to use to announce that, they're going to do the A6, they're doing a next generation jet, they're going to work with Meteor again. There was another list in text form somewhere, but I couldn't find it before putting this video together. But I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. And then lastly, here is the open beta update that they came out with this week, detailing what they've done in 2.7. So now it's 2.70.5659. It looks like a lot of the modules got a little bit of love. Looks like the AV-8B Harrier got some. The Mirage 2000 got some. Even the MiG-19 ended up getting 2 things done to it. The Deca Ironwork JF-17 got a little love. The MiG-21 actually had a little bit of love. Kristen Eagle 2. Tomcat got a couple different things. The Vigan got a couple different things. The C-101 Avio jet looks like to have received a pretty big update. It says multi-crew work in progress continuation. So it looks like you can actually do multi-crew now in the AvioJet. MiG-15 got canopy reflections fixed. The Hornet, major update of the German early access Hornet module, various updates of the English early access Hornet module, and that probably goes hand in hand with the Chuck Owl guide that was just recently updated too, which I would consider the true manual for any of these modules. The Viper got a couple things done to it. The Mi-8 tension campaign adjusted clouds. Supercarrier had a little bit of love, and looks like a couple of the campaigns were updated as well. So that is it for the flight sim news for this week. I hope to be back on schedule now, since the new microphone seems to be doing okay versus what I was working with in the past here. Hopefully this will fix my issues moving forward, and we will get back to a steady stream of videos and flight sim news. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Feel free to hit that like button, and until next time, guys.